Yes, sir. Bright and early, we here. It's like what? Damn near 5 a.m. my time. We in Eastern time zone. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but we getting to work. Let's get moving. Shout out to everybody that starts to come in, joins the chat later on as the morning picks up. Y'all could be sleep. I got to get this news going for y'all. There's a lot going on that we need to cover. Okay. So where we at? Sorry True Podcast episode 427. 7 days a week, people. I got some Kendrick updates for y'all. That's going to be real brief, real quick. We got some Lil Durk updates. Ooh, don't look too well. We're going to do a full recap and breakdown of Diddy Trials Day 7. His or Cassie's mother took the stand, as well as one of the alleged male escorts taking the stand. It's a lot going on. I believe his assistant that took the stand yesterday came back and is on the stand once again. So we're gonna do the full recap of that. You know, if you've been following some of the recaps we've been doing for the Diddy trial day by day, some of those segments alone are like an hour plus. So we're gonna get into all that. I got the breakdown and the reaction for y'all for Rod Wave's arrest. We'll get into some of the details that we see so far and his charges for that. And I got a couple other little news things up here for y'all. So, like I promised y'all, every once in a while, some of these lives will be public. Some of them during the week will be members only. The weekends is always going to be public, but I can guarantee y'all the clips from the lives will be 7 days a week. You don't have to be a member for those. We're going to continue to roll those out for you. Stay subscribed, keep your notifications on. You got a ton of content every single day coming to this channel for y'all. Okay. What else do I want to touch on briefly before we start marching down all these topics? Because we got so much. Did y'all see my reaction yesterday for Daylight versus Joey Badass? Hey, Daylight, are you going to let him take a shot at your max out performance versus King Los? I caught that. Would Joey Badass say something? I don't care what stages they put you on, you still ain't maxing out or something like that. Don't let that, don't listen, listen. That's my RBE bias right there. Everybody know Daylight, my guy. And of course, you got the RBE side of things. That's not a shot at RBE. That's between those two guys. And then, of course, I'm a New Yorker, right? And Joey Badass is kind of representing the New York side of things. So that kind of nullifies and equals everything out. I'm here just for the fucking music, okay? So when I got to the end of my recap yesterday, what I said was, I had Joey Badass in the lead right now, all right? I got to go to their channels to see if they've released anything else since yesterday. They're going a mile a minute right now, it seems. On their channels, but I got the best track so far that's been released from both of them. The Finals to me is number one from Joey Badass, and then what's it? My Town featuring Loaded Lux. I got that number two. So Joey Badass has the top two songs right now in the battle, but Daylight's tracks have been sick. The last two that he dropped, it seemed kind of fast. I see people in the comments saying like, "Yo, mix them before you drop them." Maybe he's rushing a little bit too much. It's not about the whole, hey, you went and now I'm dropping immediately within 10 minutes. Daylight, please, please take your time. It's all right if it's 24 hours, 48 hours. It's okay. It's all right. Don't feel rushed with this shit. This is a battle that a lot of hip hop heads are paying attention to. You don't need to just rush out two songs just because Joey Badass dropped in, he's got momentum. Take your time and put quality out, man. Mix the songs and all that. Daylight. We want good tracks at this point, but Daylight's been doing his thing. His first two that I saw, definitely on point. Definitely on point. So, all right. Other than that, all right, let's get to the the big news topics that we're covering today. This last couple full episodes, I've been starting out with the Diddy trial. I'm not going to start today with the Diddy trial. I'm going to save that kind of for the middle. I want to start off first with this quick, simple one, just for we music heads, man. When I see accomplishments like this, doesn't matter. This could have been Drake. This could have been Nas. This could have been Kendrick. I would have still brought it up here. It doesn't matter. But Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us breaks all-time rap record. An all-time record, you must recognize that. Kendrick Lamar's chart-topping diss track Not Like Us has now reached an entire year on Billboard's Hot 100. In attaining the astonishing landmark, it has become the first ever rap song to spend 52 consecutive weeks on the chart. No other hip-hop song has spent more than a year on the chart. That's crazy, man. Congratulations to Kendrick Lamar and everybody else involved in Not Like Us in that track, that song. Mega. It's official, people. If you didn't believe then, you must believe now. It's the biggest rap battle of all time. Kendrick versus Drake. You got lawsuits. You got Grammy sweeps. You got Super Bowl halftime show performances. You got albums dropping in the mix, and all these numbers and stats and stuff like this that's dropping. And this is also the biggest, not the best, but the biggest diss track of all hip hop time as well. It is what it is. Hate it or love it, people. It's the truth. The biggest battle rap diss track song of all time is Not Like Us. All right. So, hey, congratulations to Kendrick, man. I ain't team Drake. I ain't team Kendrick. I'm team hip hop. All right. Now, let's get to things that are a little bit more serious. Let's go to Lil Durk. Like I said, I'll get to Diddy's topic, and after this one. Yeah, I'll wait one more at least. I'll wait one more. So, as we know, Lil Durk has been going for bond. I believe this is his third attempt now that's coming up. And if you're sitting there waiting for your trial date to come up, if it's within your means, within your rights, if you could afford it, and your attorneys, fighting for you, yeah, keep sending them back and forth. Keep making these bond attempts, right? Keep getting us new hearings to sit in front of the judge or a panel and get a decision. Can we get bond? They keep presenting all these different bond packages. It's like over $2 million at this point worth of in money and assets. They showed paperwork of the security team and detail that would monitor him and abide by all these stipulations set forth by the government to make sure that he was remaining in line while he was out on bond. The bond package was great to me. The way it was presented looked very good, but just doesn't seem that it's about that. It's about them clipping him on the three-way phone calls while he's been in federal custody, right? So they got him on that. They're saying he's a flight risk. Now they're bringing in witness tampering, right? And they're also saying this is a murder for hire. So you got all this stuff, the flight risk and all this. It's like it's tough. It's not about how much bond money you put up. It seems to be, but Lil Durk is still fighting for it. Now the witness tampering angles that have been coming about, people. You see, I got his paperwork up here from his docket. What's this dated? This is dated. This is all new. This is from the 19th. All right. So you see up here once again, United States versus Dirk Banks, Lil Durk, Mustafa Abdul Malak, Blood. Those are some of his aliases they got there. They don't got Smirky. Oh. Government's opposition to defendant Banks' motion to dismiss indictment. So this is the government submitting their stance on him going for bond yet again. Okay. Now, if we just look at the table of contents, the table of contents is going to tell the first tale here. All right. Look at this. A, defendant's control and leadership of OTF. So if you are establishing that OTF is a criminal organization or is involved in criminal activity, you're placing him as the leader, which is another reason why everybody should be sitting the fuck down right now if you're from OTF. I know Duty Low just got shot. You can't blame yourself for getting shot, right? People starting to go into the direction of that being a robbery related to possibly Rondo's people. I'll save that towards the end of the stream. We'll get to that. We'll get to that separately. But you got a lot of stuff and activity around OTF. You had that other unsealed indictment that came out and the alleged retaliation hit for his brother D thing. I don't know if that's really touted as an OTF thing, but I'm pretty sure if we go to that indictment, OTF is in the paperwork somewhere, allegedly. So the activity around OTF and placing him as the leader is never going to look good. Don't they got the credit card transactions related to OTF bank accounts, right? For some of the stuff that was purchased in this alleged murder for hire that happened in Hollywood of Quando Rondo's cousin. So right off rip, that's heavy, right? Defendant's deadly rivalry with TB. TB is Quando Rondo, I believe, right? The indictment and defendant's attempt to flee the country. They are still saying that we're not taking that angle from y'all, that it was a pilgrimage that you were taking and these were all connected flights and all that. No, the timing of that, we're not going to play the idiot role. At the end of the day, 4 or 5 OTF members got arrested, and then the very, very next day, you was trying to flee the country. That's the position that they're taking. Okay, the first superseding indictment, there's a lot of charges in there involving, of course, the murder for hire. The government obtained the second superseding indictment after defendant attempted to promote a false narrative that he was indicted and detained because of his music. So We saw that the superseding indictment. I thought that that was a very clever move by the government. The superseding indictment came and it stripped out all the accusations that there was a song that came out. Quando Rondo's voice was overlaid in the song when he's screaming no from the screaming on the news video when his cousin was getting pulled out of the truck after the truck was shot up, right? So Durk and his people on his side, the engineers, the producers, they produce evidence showing that that song was recorded before the actual shooting in Hollywood and that no addition of Quando Rondo's vocals was done by them. It was fan made or fan done on the internet after the fact. What did they do? The government, they came with a superseding indictment. They took all that lyric stuff out of the indictment and they said, all right, we're not focusing on that. It's all good. I said, whoa, you could do that? But that was also part of Little Durk going after throwing out the superseding indictment, right? Which then negates the original indictment as well by saying the grand jury was tainted because of the evidence that we supported or we brought and what you brought into the grand jury. They're saying knowingly that music was not done by them, right? So how you prove that, let the judge decide on that. But they're saying that's a false narrative. And we saw Little Durk, as far as them saying you ran a false narrative. You saw Little Durk then come. He put that video for support on his Instagram, calling out to the public, saying that this is all false or what they're doing to him. So that's what E stands for right there. Okay. Defendant's motion to dismiss is moot and meritless. Well, if it's moot, it would be because you're saying you're thinking that we're going to throw this indictment out because of lyrics. We didn't arrest you on lyrics. We actually took it out of the superseding indictment. That's a moot point for us now. We just want to focus on this murder for hire and all the details around why you took that private flight, you and one of the alleged OTF members and shooters, why you were in town, why your credit card was swiped and ski masks were purchased at sporting goods stores, why you got text messages saying, don't put my name on no flights, all these other different, pieces of evidence that they have. And God knows what haven't been released yet via the paperwork and the indictment. When you get the trial, we'll hear much more. But witnesses and all types of stuff, right? We're about to get into alleged witness tampering. So God knows the stuff that they have that we don't know. So that's why you would say that other stuff is a moot point and meritless. Meritless is saying it's not even true. But moot is we took it out and we don't care about it. We're good. We don't have to get you based on these lyrics being real or not, as far as that Quando Rondo's voice being added to the green light, go, go. Like, all right, cool. We'll leave that alone. Woo! It's a tough game to play. The SSI moots defendant motion. Okay, superseding indictment is SSI. Defendant fails to show any misconduct or prejudice. Okay. Fails to show any misconduct or prejudice. Why would you be saying that? That one I don't really interpret fully. We'll get back to that later. B, defendant's request for grand jury transcripts is also moot and meritless. Now, what I did, because this is 18 pages, we're not going to read the whole thing. Being that there's witness tampering in here, what I wanted to do is I just want to search witness in here. Let's go back to the first time we see witness in here. Let's start here. Okay, accordingly, defendant's motion should be denied because it is moot following the superseding indictment. But even if mootness does not apply, even though it does, look how they put that. The motion fails to cite any legitimate basis to dismiss the indictment or unseal grand jury transcripts, particularly in this murder case where witnesses and their family members have already been threatened. Indeed, the compelling need to continue protecting witnesses alone justifies the denying defendant's meritless request to unseal the sensitive proceedings before the grand jury. That's the first occurrence of witness. All right, what do we got next? Indeed, the compelling need to continue protecting witnesses alone justifies denying defendant's meritless request to unseal the sensitive proceedings before the grand jury. Witness tampering there, alleging, man, not good. In addition to directing violence against his rivals, defendant and OTF members, plural, are also alleged to have engaged in witness intimidation. Threats to witnesses, that's in the footnotes. What do we got here? Example, evidence collected in this case shows defendant allegedly placed a bounty to solicit the murder of a family member of a witness, and that another OTF member called the family member of a witness in an alleged effort to intimidate the witness. We can keep going, but what else do you need to see from the witness tampering or alleged threats or alleged hit attempts that they're putting in this paperwork? I don't need to say allegedly as far as whether it's true or not. I'm talking about what I'm reading here. This is the actual paperwork from his docket. All right. And this better not be true. So continuing on the government's attack and angles on Lil Durk. Here's the thing that kills me with these artists. Lil Durk, drill rappers, people that are into self-incrimination and self-snitching and self-telling and all the type of stuff that Lil Durk raps about. And give me a second. Let me take the big screen for a quick mini rant. What kills me, people, is if I hone in on Lil Durk, who many of us rock with, we all like his music. Many of us are fans of his movement and him building up his career over the years. I really am one of those guys. I play Lil Durk's music frequently. Frequently. I'm a big fan of his music. One of his collab album with Lil Baby is hanging on the wall of my gym. You know, I really fuck with Durk. The thing is, Durk seems to be a very, very street smart person. You could hear his street intelligence, his street knowledge in his songs, in his lyrics, his third eye to the streets. It's all there for us to see. And that's another reason why we fuck with certain artists, because the authenticity, the message, the vibe that they give off, we be like, yeah, you was really, really there. You really, really was or is active. We gravitate to those artists more. The real factor, hip hop is very, very rooted in authenticity. Very rooted. The moment that we find out your chain got snatched or you ain't really living what you rap about, the only person that can get away with that shit is 6ix9ine. He's the only nigga out there still making tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's the only one still living better than a lot of people watching this video. But let's be real. So despite Lil Durk's street intelligence, why he has so much self-incriminating interviews, lyrics, songs, is it baffles me for him specific. It doesn't baffle me overall for hip hop because it happens every day. I'm numb to it. It baffles me a little bit for him because he'll have lyrics saying shit like, you know, you talking too much on the internet. You got the feds in our business, and what he's this NBA young boy for stuff like that. And he says lyrics like that, but then he goes and he'll do an interview or he'll make a song or he'll do a music video where he's pointing at the floor while everybody is stepping on Cash, i.e. a shot at the killing of FBG Cash. It's not about, as we see in these indictments, the proving of, we know for a fact you've done it. It's the hints that they're using against y'all. They take the hints that you guys put in your interviews, the hints that you guys put in your music, and they put it in your indictment, and then you got to go sit there and fight this case with hundreds of thousands of dollars if you want the Brian Steels or the Drew Finlings, if hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars it cost you, while you continue to fight for bond, if you even get that. And then, God forbid, you get to trial and then get found guilty. Not everybody gets to come home like Young Thug and get looked at like a king or a god and all that for sitting down for 2 years and beating it. And the 2 years alone is something that nobody wants to lose from their life. You live once. Nobody wants to lose 2 years off their life. Nobody. Lil Durk right now keeps fighting for bonds. Why? Because it's better out there than in here. I mean, out here than in there. It's better. It's better. You see what I'm saying? So the governments continue to attack, or they show us, because these rappers, they keep writing it in ways or saying it in ways where they think it's coded. I said before, there's no more code on the internet. You can't call your man or DM your man and say, hey, man, come pick up these pizza boxes. Some detective is going to say, is this a fucking pizza man? No, it's not a pizza man. We believe that that was code for fucking keys of coke or pies. Indict his ass. We'll prove it in court. That's what they do. Code doesn't work. And even if you think that it does work, they're still going to grab you on it and put it in your indictment, and you're going to have to prove them false. Or they're going to try to prove themselves correct because innocent until proven guilty. The burden of the proof is on the plaintiff, right? But you're going to sit there and you're going to spend this money and you're going to be hurt. You're going to be away from your family and your career and your life. So the things that we as fans know, how many times do we say on this platform? The feds know as well. I hope this is a rumor. Prosecutors say Lil Durk appeared to admit to having Lil Pop killed in an academics interview and has been threatening witnesses. I don't need to read all of this. We all know the interview. I'm going to play it. I say that to say, when they did the lyrics in his original indictment, green light, go, go, look at your son screaming, no, no, puss, all of that. We that are in tune with rap and hip hop, we were like, shit, he's lucky that that's the song they're using because there's way worse songs. I was just like, yo, like the song Beverly Hills, it's the name of the song on the internet, aka School His Ass. And then in the superseding indictment, I was shocked. I was just like, oh shit, they added School His Ass, the Beverly Hills song. We all seen this clip right here on DJ Academics, and we all know what the fuck Lil Durk is trying to do. And we were just thinking that, all right, well, he's skating on this. The feds ain't using this. If this rumor here is true, yes, they are now. Yes, they are.
On comments. I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mentioned a song. They'd be like, they be saying Sly for Vaughn. I think they trolling me. Yo, by the way, that song is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water. You be seeing them comments a lot?
They kind of chilled out a little bit.
I wonder why. Yeah, though. We different in Iraq.
You can't, even the word we. If I'm a prosecutor, people, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a prosecutor. I'm not a defense attorney. I'm none of that. I'm just a podcaster that tries to use a little bit of logic. What the fuck do I know? You know that if I was a prosecutor, though, even the word we, I would use right there. Because he's asking you, the interviewer is asking you about the Slide for Vaughn campaign. Because he was killed, right? We all saw the video, so we know the people that are involved. We know that King Von was punching on Quando Rondo, and that Lil Tim came out from the other side of the truck and shot King Von, right? So we all know this already, right? Okay. The Slide for Vaughn campaign starts. Quando Rondo's truck gets shot up. Lil Durk does an interview. After rapping about they be saying Slide for Vaughn, I think they trolling me and all of this. Got it back in blood. Y'all just don't know that's how it's supposed to be. He's already rapping about the Slide for Vaughn response in his lyrics. Then he does an interview. And he gives this awkward moment with academics saying, for some reason, I don't hear that shit no more. And then the simple 2-letter word he says, we different in the rack. He didn't say like, shit, King Von, man, he's beloved by a lot of people around the whole world. People have been acting out behind him. So leave them Chirac people alone, man. They be tripping, man. They different in the rack. He didn't say that. He said, we. I'm not reaching, people. I'm not reaching. This is what prosecution will do. This is what they will do. You will have to sit up there and even if you beat the charges, you will have to sit up there and explain, why did you say we? I'm not reaching. This ain't no fucking reach. This is common sense shit. This rumor better be true. And you want to know what, people? There's at least 10 to 15 more on the internet. maybe more than that, maybe like 20, where us as people that know Lil Durk's career, know his interviews, know his music, know his songs, us on the internet as fans of him that support him, that are like, "Ooh, hope that this doesn't end up in this indictment. Hopefully they missed this because there's this time when he tweeted this or he rapped on this song about this, and oh, when they was all stepping on the cash on the floor. I mean, we know what that means, but maybe them people don't know. We be swearing like everybody in the government or the feds or in the authorities is just some pencil pushing geeks that don't know rap music. There's hip hop heads in the buildings. There's rap heads in the buildings. There's fans of Lil Durk in the buildings. There might be somebody in the buildings watching DJ Academics every fucking day as their job. Even if you don't follow hip hop or follow the culture, or if you wasn't grown up in it, or even if you don't know these neighborhoods, even if you don't know the slang, even if you don't know the streets, if it's something that you do for your job, you get familiar with it. You get familiar with it. You learn it. Like me in the news cycle. You know how many celebrities I pay attention to now that I didn't pay attention to 2-3 years ago? Now that I'm a podcaster, I got triple the amount of information on these celebrities and hip hop figures that I report on that I had before I was podcasting because I'm in this field now. I just want to speak from a common sense standpoint, and I want to see if anybody thinks I'm fucking crazy. All right, let's move on. Speaking of OTF, I'll leave this one short for y'all, and then we're gonna start getting into the Diddy stuff. Make it sound like it's such a chore. Like, here we go, Diddy again. All right. Quando Rondo's brother shows off Lil Durk's OTF affiliate Duty Lowe's jewelry. Duty was recently shot and robbed in Atlanta. I'm gonna say this is still all alleged and speculation. We did see a post, somebody put up a text message. It looked like a middleman saying, "Hey, Duty Low got something for people that got his jewelry, you know, as far as trying to buy his stuff back or, you know, pay for his stuff to be returned, you know." Somebody's posting it, chains and watches. I didn't see nothing from Duty Low's side coming out saying that robbery, chains. Here's my chain right here. Here's my, because you know how these artists feel over their chains and their jewelry. They feel like they rap about it. Try to reach and touch my shit. You like, you know what I mean? Like it's such a badge of honor, and you're clicking on, especially when we see other pictures that was coming out of an OTF chain, somebody claiming that was Duty Low's as well. So it's like it even happened in G Unit when the G Unit medallion moved off of allegedly one of the G Unit members' necks. 50 Cent had an issue with it, right? It's no different. Like these medallions that's supposed to be tied to your group or your chain, you lose that to the alleged ops. It's like that's street shit. And not even just the medallions that represent these gangs or these cliques or these groups. Or let me be nice and say these record labels. But even within the hip hop culture and also within our communities, period, how we've grown to treat jewelry. I don't treat it like that anymore. Maybe I had that mentality when I was younger. I wish I would now. You get the drop on me and I'm wearing my little chain or something like that, you have zero resistance. I don't care if I have a shotgun down my leg. I'm giving you zero resistance. You know, unless I feel like my life is in danger, and it's like either do it or do or die, right? Do something or die. Other than that, if I get a vibe that this is you're going by the rules of what's supposed to be a professional or a well-deserving stick-up kid, nobody move, nobody get hurt. These are the rules. I'm not saying everybody follows the rules. But if I get the vibe that the rules is being followed, I'm not putting me or anybody's life in danger over this bullshit ass material ass piece of fucking jewelry. I'm not. And I just say all of that in hip hop. It's not that. I had to break away from shit like that, and I never got robbed, knock on wood. You know what I'm saying? But I got burglarized, came home and niggas ran in my shit. But I never had nobody take something from me face to face. Luckily, knock on wood. And if you would have tried me at some point in life, maybe my mind would have been thinking like, oh shit, I'm about to be disrespected because this is my jewelry and you're going to take my, God forbid you take my chain. You know, so it becomes a big deal. It starts going around the internet like this. This chain, oh my goodness. And that's why stuff like this is being posted, right? I don't know who this person is, WAP shit. It's a threatening name. But that's why stuff like this is being posted. Because snatching somebody's chain or somebody's jewelry is supposed to be a high level of disrespect, and it's supposed to devalue you as a tough guy or a street nigga. You got your shit took. I don't believe in that, but now they're gonna go back and forth on the internet with this type of shit, people. All right, but just an update that we see as it relates to OTF. And if I'm Lil Durk, I don't want to see none of this shit going on. You know, there's a lot of names that's associated to Durk that are people that have very strong street reputations. I don't remember hearing too much about Duty Low's street reputation. I'm pretty sure he has one, right? But you got people like, let's say, like Bezu, right? Imagine him getting in trouble right now and it's some OTF related shit or some gangbanging shit that they, you know, like this is the type of stuff that they're gonna walk into court. You saw when we had that paperwork up 20 minutes ago, one of those pieces in the table of contents was Lil Durk is being placed as the leader of OTF. So if I'm Lil Durk, I don't want anybody that's publicly associated or known to be OTF to be getting into anything right now in the streets because they might use it. It's all painting pictures that we as a group or a record label is out here doing street shit and breaking laws and just bringing shit into the community that is dangerous. You just don't need it right now. You need everybody to sit the fuck down and stay out of trouble. But what if Duty Low goes and retaliates for his jewelry right here? You know, so allegedly. We must grow as a people and as a community, man. So much of this bullshit that happens is not worth it. I pray that God keeps me out the way. I pray God keeps me out the way. All right. Let's get to the biggest story of today's stream. And then after that, we will do the Rod Wave update. All right. Let's go. Because these updates have been so detailed and so significant, I figured we start with something else today. So now let's get into the Diddy trial, day 7 update. All right. So I believe the highlights is Cassie's mother taking the stand, one of the alleged sex workers taking the stand, and I believe his assistant is back taking the stand again, right? All right, court has now begun. They started a little bit later than yesterday, huh? Or day 6, I should say. 9/12. Is that around the same time? All right, the judge has taken the bench. All right, we haven't seen Combs yet, but here's a court sketch of him from yesterday, previous sketch. They get right into the first witness. Yes, his assistant. I believe he was only his assistant for like 2 years, right? If I remember, it was like May 2007 to like May 2009 or something like that. He's seen a couple things, heard a couple things. He was told to stay in your lane, man. You're here to turn, like literally, this is what we read in the last update. Literally, you're here to knock on the door to wake Diddy up. You're here to get a schedule in order. You're here to turn the TV on for him. You're here to, you know, assistant. And we read some shit that was like, his schedule was 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. Do the math, people. That's a 4-hour sleep window or 4 hours to yourself when you're not working and on call. I was like, that should be a charge. That when you talk about all the forced labor type of shit, I'm pretty sure that's coming. Like 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. The fuck? The price of being around Diddy. That's the books that you're going to be seeing coming at some point. Watch. The price to pay to be in Diddy's circle. All right. David James, a former personal assistant to Diddy, is now retaking the stand after beginning his evidence on Monday. He appears to be wearing the same blue suit and white shirt. We return to his description of disagreements he saw between Diddy and Cassie, which he says were about her professional career. Is he the only one that's been getting up on the stand crying so far? Ain't no wrong crying, people. I'm not that type of person. I'm just saying, yeah, all these women. Yeah, Cassie's best friend take the stand. Yeah, no, Cassie cried, right? Yeah, Cassie cried. All right, Cassie took the stand. I'm just saying. Don't let it be you're the only man and the whole child gonna be up there crying, huh? Get your ass off the stand. But he was subpoenaed, all right? So he remember, like we said, if you get subpoenaed, if they catch you on these phones, catch you at your door, catch you at your job, hand you that subpoena, you fuck around and try to dodge that and catch some time your damn self. So, all right, James says she wanted to be more involved with modeling and acting. Told her she needed to focus on her music career. James says he did not see physical violence between the pair. Okay. He says Diddy returned home and looked at his browser history. He says Diddy was upset and said someone was lying about a blog post that he had hit Cassie in a club. James, who says he had Googled Diddy LA club, describes the incident as jarring, as Diddy had never looked at his browser history before. So I ain't mad at Diddy. Yo, there's so much in this trial that we got to remember. You have to take yourself out of your own shoes and put yourself in these different situations. Like, as much as I could clown the nigga that's gonna get paid to cut on the next man's TV, I would say confidently that would never fucking be me. Ever. You can't pay me to turn you. That's not a job for me. I'm just not that type of guy. I need a different type of job. Right? But I got to put myself in the shoes of some of these people, and I understand the gravity of Diddy. Turns people out, turns people into groupies, got people involved allegedly in freak offs, doing shit that they don't want to do. He's this multi-millionaire, billionaire, whatever, successful guy that could press a button and your career is lit. That's why they got it done for that. You left, you saw this, you had all these issues, but then you came back and asked for a re-up. You want to do business again? She was like, yeah. You see what I'm saying? So people trying to take the good with the bad, but I got to put myself in outside of myself to interpret some of this shit. All right. And if I'm Diddy and I got all this shit going on, this stuff that needs to stay private because my image alone is tied to millions and millions of dollars. If I find out that I went to the club last night and then there's this report that, oh, Diddy happened to slap somebody in his entourage on the way to the club. Who was I on the way to the club with? I got my security guard 1, security guard 2. I got Cassie with me. I got my assistant with me. Yo, let me see your fucking phone, man. Show me your phone. You go with the people that's around them. Yo, you got to understand, do you have any backstabbers in your circle? Because there's all types of shit going on. There's freak offs. There's drugs. There's assault. I might slap Cassie around here and there. I need people that's going to shut the fuck up. Just like he testified yesterday. I need the security guard that's going to tell the assistant, yo, stay in your fucking lane. If you're Diddy, that's the type of people you need around you. Loyal people that stay in their lane, shut the fuck up, not go to the tabloids, not go to the blogs, not try to take pictures of him while he's walking down the fucking hall, dragging somebody allegedly. Right? Let me see your phone, nigga. What's this? Baby oil and condoms were not paid for by the company. James lists the items he would bring to Diddy's hotel room ahead of his arrival, including a sweatsuit, underwear, food, including applesauce, Jello, lemonade, and Fiji water. The fuck y'all got me reading this morning? That's just another thing that can't be in my fucking job description. Yo, here's your applesauce. Jello? Come on, B. We gotta find better things to do as a profession. Damn, B. Lemonade and Fiji water. It's just so specific. Applesauce, Jello, lemonade, toiletries, a lot of cosmetic products for Diddy's skin. Okay. A Louis Vuitton bum bag containing money, usually 10,000 or more. A medicine bag containing 25 to 30 pill bottles, Advil, Tylenol, Viagra pills to increase sperm count, and water pills. What's water pills? I don't even know what water pills is. Is it a dehydration thing from all the alcohol going around? Allegedly? I don't know. I don't even know what water pills are. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's keep going. James said he was not reimbursed for all the supplies as Diddy did not want personal items like baby oil, Astroglide lubricant, and condoms paid for by the company. Why not? It's not illegal to have baby oil or Astroglide. Pay for it by the company and write it off on your LLC. It's the cost of doing business. I'm just saying. No, there's nothing illegal buying it, so why not be able to write it off? We try to you got guns and drugs and freakos and all types of shit going on, but you want to hide the Astroglide. Yeah, I don't know why today's shit is starting off funnier than normal. What the fuck is going on, B? Why is today's shit funnier than normal, B? Oh shit. All right. I saw someone with long hair and a large endowment. What the fuck is about to go on here? James describes entering Diddy's hotel room one day on Star Island in Miami in 2008 and delivering him an iPad. James says, I knocked and there was no answer. So I used my key. I saw Cassie on the bed, a white comforter up on her neck. She did not move when I entered the room. He says someone walked across the room describing him as having long hair. All right. James says, Cassie in there with some other nigga, huh? Just, it was Diddy in there too? James says Combs was in the shower. Okay. And they believe, well, it doesn't make it okay. But I'm just saying, it's just like, Diddy's such a alleged freak that your girl could just be posted up in the tail in the bed with another nigga walking around half naked or whatever. Y'all freakos is at that level, huh? Where it's just like, yo, you with her for now, I'll be back later. Damn, that's the only reason I asked. Like, damn, was at least Diddy there? Like, and we already know he'd be in other rooms and shit. It's just like, dude, I can still never understand the cuckold share my lady shit. I can't understand it. This is your main. You on the red carpet with her. They showing text mess evidence of I love you. Have a good day, queen. You are the center of my life. I miss you so much. This is not some random one night stand chick to you. This is, you love this woman. I never will understand the guys that's into that. I never will be. All right. He says someone walked across the room. All right. James says Combs was in the shower and he believed Cassie was sleeping. He goes on, this time she was on her back. She usually slept on her side. So you know that much about even how Cassie sleeps? What else have you seen? He says he never spoke to either of them about it and just thought they were doing personal things. James says he never had a conversation with Cassie or Diddy about their personal affairs. Yeah, you better not. Diddy will slap you upside your head, allegedly, for bringing up that shit. Yo, Diddy, I just want to let you know, man. Like, when I walked in the other day, some dude was walking across the room. He wasn't dressed or whatever. You knew that, right? I just want to let you know. I was in the back in the shower. He punch you in the back of your head, tell you shut the fuck up. And again, give me your phone, bitch ass nigga. Let me check your phone. All right. He thought it would be embarrassing for him. James discusses Diddy's drugs or drug use, and he says witnessed his boss taking Percocet and ecstasy. The rapper's former assistant tells the court Diddy would take ecstasy at night in the studio. James said he took an ecstasy pill himself at a New Year's Eve party, describing how it made him behave out of character. So here he is right here. And this is the assistant. So if this was, I think I remember once again, 2007 to 2009, he was the assistant of Diddy, which would have been 10, 1, and then another 10 is 11 and 5, like 16 years ago, right? 16, 17 years ago. All right. Normally, I'm very straight edge without much emotion. I don't care about all that. He says Diddy called him into his office a few days later and was viewing footage from the party. I got them tapes. I got them party tapes, B. He says, Diddy asked if he had taken ecstasy. And when he said yes, he told him, okay, I will keep the footage if I need it. He thought it would be embarrassing for me, James adds. Ooh, that's not good. Because that's blackmail and shit, right? If I work for you and let's say the New Year's Eve party, let me think corporate. There's a lot of people going to work right now. Shout out to everybody that's watching the stream. Let me think corporate for a second. If you go to your company New Year's Eve or Christmas parties, right? Those are considered off the clock. You got a lot of people that get their ass embarrassed and get in trouble for getting drunk in front of all their work colleagues and bosses and shit at the New Year's Eve or the Christmas parties, right? So let's say your company rents out the Trump Tower to throw their Christmas party. They don't own that space. You're off the clock. This, I assume, is to be considered personal time, even though you know you need to carry yourself in a certain business company-like manner, right? But it's still off the record, off the company premises and all of this. That's still got to be classified as personal time. You didn't even have to go. Now, here I am at this New Year's Eve party. I'll pop an ecstasy pill. And then Diddy calls me into his office the next day, shows me, well, it's at his crib, right? So is the crib designated as business location? Well, if he's working as an assistant, damn, I'm trying to help the guy. And I might have just lost the angle. Because it's taking place at Diddy's crib. I might have just lost the angle that I was building up. But anyway, to show him that video like that, even if it's on the work premises, how is that then not blackmail? Because if my boss does that to me, whether I'm on company premises or not, company grounds or not, that's blackmail. I'll keep this. Like, why are you showing it to me? You show it to me because you think I'm doing something that's compromising myself, my integrity, my professionalism, that might embarrass me, as he's saying in his opinion it was done for. That is blackmail. Yeah. You don't have to say, I'm going to do this in case you do that for it to be classified as blackmail. Right? I could just show you something and just be like, yo, I just want to let you know I got that video of you, nigga. And the implication to me, I'm going to interpret as blackmail. So that's not good. That's not good because they got all the the work labor and the work stuff of how he treated his employees, stuff that's molded into his charges and some of the indictment, right? All right, intimidating lie detector test led by former FBI agent. What? What? Are you about to tell me he's giving niggas lie detector tests and he got a old Fed coming in to administer the test? James says there were times when valuables went missing, leaving Diddy upset. Mr. Combs did not like anyone to steal. None of us do. That was one of his big things, he tells the court. He describes one occasion when a Cartier bracelet went missing and his personal items were searched by security. James says on other occasions he had staff had to take lie detector tests. Once when cash went missing and an escort time when Diddy had a watch stolen. A second time when Diddy had a watch stolen. So I ain't mad at this. The lie detector test stuff seems excessive. It seems like because none of us we don't have access to it. I don't have one of the polygraph machines and I damn sure don't got a Fed that I could hire to come in and do the fucking test for me. So because we don't have access to this shit, it seems excessive. But even in me and y'all, meager, humble, regular, normal lives that ain't like a Diddy type of lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? I got people in and out of my crib as assistants and employees or whatever. I'm flipping out too if some shit go missing. I'm checking videos too. I'm questioning everybody. Shit might go Martin. Even in Martin's little apartment, he sat everybody ass down. He had the fucking the fake Doberman walking around. You know what I'm saying? He put everybody on. What was that? That was just a little camcorder. The camcorders was big back then, but that was just a little camcorder, right? I'm just saying. So yeah, I'm flipping out. I got millions of dollars and shit laying around this crib, valuables. jewelry, watches, evidence, all types of stuff. Like, nah, I don't want even the principle of stealing. I don't want nothing to go misplaced. So I ain't mad at this. I'm just trying to step outside my own lifestyle to understand some niggas are gonna do a lie detector test behind something going missing. Oh shit. All right, that motherfucking Suge Knight. James describes an incident at Mel's Drive in a 24-hour burger bar in November 2008 involving guns and a rival music executive, Suge Knight. He said, it's like the second time Suge Knight's name is coming up, right? He says Diddy was recording in the studio at around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. and sent James to get cheeseburgers with D-Rock, his head of security. When they arrived, James says D-Rock said that motherfucking Suge Knight. Knight was a music executive and the chairman of Death Row Records. We know who Knight was. He's currently serving 28 years. They're both in jail right now. How ironic. That's crazy. As much as they were rivals, Diddy and Suge Knight. 2050, yeah, the hit and run he's still there for. Okay. James says Knight asked if they were Diddy's boys and did a dab. He says when they went inside to get the food, they saw 4 black SUVs pull into the car park or the parking lot and hand Knight a gun, at which point D-Rock said, "We gotta go." James describes going to Diddy's house and telling him about the incident. He says Diddy replied, "Motherfucker, go." All right. There was then complete silence and a sense of calm as they drove back to the restaurant in a black Escalade, he adds. So y'all went back? Okay, Diddy. Well, you ain't go back. You sent niggas back, huh? James says Knight wasn't there when they returned. I was really shook up by this, or by it. This was the first time as his assistant that I realized my life was in danger, he adds. Noting he told Diddy he wanted to leave the company soon afterwards. All right, so you're claiming that you quit after some gangster shit started happening. So the picture that they paint in here is that y'all was doing studio time, 4 a.m. in the morning, whatever. Diddy sent y'all to go get some burgers. When y'all was there, Knight or Suge and his people were there, and they started arming up and tooling up because they recognized who y'all were, and y'all possibly was with Diddy. Maybe they recognized somebody like D-Rock. And then when y'all went back and told Diddy, Diddy said, no, go back. Go back. Did he send the assistant? I'm sorry, but this guy's pictures and him crying up there on the stand, there's no way that Diddy thought that he was tough. No, you're there to turn on the TVs. You're there to bring me the condoms and shit. You're there to bring me the Astroglide. You're not here to go back 4 a.m. in the morning because niggas just crossed paths with Suge. So was he sent? I don't know. I don't know about that. That wouldn't be a good boss call on Diddy because you got to know who's in your circle. You sending him for some gangster shit. If some gangster shit happens, he's gonna be the one to fucking tell. You got to know who you got around, who you can send for that, and who you can't. And look, the nigga quit after that. I ain't built for this. I ain't built for nobody. I ain't built for nobody. Yeah, I know who you got around you, Diddy. Choose your hitters wisely. The fuck? Diddy had 3 guns with him. James has now finished giving evidence and being cross-examined by Mark Anifalo, who is leading Diddy's defense. He asked James if he knew who Knight was, to which James answers, "Of course. I grew up listening to hip-hop." The former assistant says that when they got back to Diddy's house, Combs and Cassie were outside arguing in the street. James says Cassie didn't want them to go back to the diner and was stressed, telling Diddy not to go. Oh, did Diddy go too? He confirms that when they returned to the diner, Diddy had 3 guns. Okay, Diddy. Diddy went 3 guns. Okay. Okay, his lawyer asked then he had 3 guns on his person when you got to the house. James says, I guess. Well, you can't guess that. Did he have 1, 2, 3? Was he right hip, left hip, back, small of his back? Like, was it on him or not? Yeah, dude. Like in shootouts, nobody. Have you ever seen that outside of movies? People, I empty my right hip, I empty my left hip, and I pull. This doesn't. That's just not real life in shootouts. Like If anything, you're Diddy and you're going to war, right? You need that one clip to be what you want to have, right? Just pop up with a 30 or some shit. You're not in the midst of a shootout. It's like, who are you, Rambo? This better not be true, Diddy. Relax. A moment of levity in a heavy case. All right. During cross examination, James is told by the defense lawyer, I have a few more mundane questions. James answers, I like mundane questions, which is met with laughter in the courtroom. Calm down. You was just up there crying. Now you want to be cute and sarcastic and try to make jokes in the court. Calm down, James. Sit your ass down. Come on, chill out. The former assistant goes on to describe the reason he wanted to work for Diddy, telling the court, I was a fan of him. I wore Sean John clothes early on. I wanted to work for him. He was successful, self-made, brilliant, and a brilliant marketer. Okay, cool. Diddy did not sign autographs. James is now discussing Diddy's security detail, explaining that he needed a second vehicle whenever he traveled around. James says security was suspicious of anyone trying to approach him. There would be people walking up to him and try to touch him or get autographs, yada yada. Okay, that does nothing for me personally. You get tired, you get fired. Yeah, 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. is your schedule. If you're accepting an 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. schedule, you can't get tired. You ain't working a 9 to 5. Your hours is different, B. Earlier in his testimony, we heard from James that he frequently worked 20-hour days and 6-day weeks for weeks on end. All right. Defense attorney asks, you're a hard worker and you enjoyed it? James answers, I did at times. The security detail would always say, if you get tired, you get fired. He recalls one time he had ran a red light and Combs asked him what he was doing. And, okay, James says, I turned around and he said, I'm fucking tired. Attorney says, you didn't get fired? James says, no. All right. And that actually helps Diddy. What the fuck? Like, all right. One key, well, this is cross-examiner, right? So obviously they're there to help him, right? Yeah, this is Diddy's defense that's now questioning. Okay. One key item on Diddy's rider, briefly discussing riders, the specific list of requirements given by an artist ahead of their appearance at a venue. James says Diddy had different riders for different situations. He's Diddy. Yeah. He's even Daylight tried to give me a rider one time when we were booking. He was half trolling me, but artists like to have writers. Like I can only imagine what Diddy shit is. He says Heinz 57 was one of Diddy's key writer items, explaining in the UK they didn't have Heinz, and ketchup was a big part of his diet. Okay. He's Diddy, so he's got these elaborate requests and y'all are gonna do it. So the life of a billionaire. What do you expect, man? Some billionaires, some people do this type of shit, not all. James appears to be referring to tangy, spicy blend of well-known ketchup. What the fuck? All right. Write her a note and buy her a gift. James describes the whatever that is among Combs staff. I don't even know what that word is. We were employees. We worked for Bad Boy Entertainment. We were all there to support Mr. Combs, to make sure he had he was happy and prepared for the day. What did he get paid? I want to know that. What does an assistant like this get paid? That's working 20-hour days, 6 days a week for weeks on end. And you're like Diddy's little do boy. So all the way down to turn the TV on for him. What is somebody like him getting paid by a multi-millionaire that's super successful? Curious. What? Because I want to know the number that makes a man stay through this type of work environment, these type of work conditions, these type of job details and description. I want to know what makes him. Is he getting a smooth mill from Diddy? There's a lot of people that's watching the stream that might say, hey, from what I'm reading so far, shit, I'll do that for a mill. I get to travel. I get to hang out. I get to be around celebrities. I got to wake. I only got 4 hours to sleep, but why you run that red light? Nigga, I'm tired. We just what I'm saying. Like, what is he paying somebody to endure this type of stuff? You can't do no $50,000 a year for this. You gotta feel like you're being compensated. Like, yo, the job is shit sometimes and it's tough sometimes, but shit, at least I'm making a meal too. Like, What is he being paid? And remember, even that gets taxed, people. Ah, he recalls Combs' mother, who he refers to as Mama Combs, once calling him her son. She has been supporting Diddy in court, but is not today or that present day. All right. James is asked who in Diddy's staff he was closest to. He says he was closest to the chef. He was asked if he ever choked, and the chef answers no. James says an incident occurred between him and the chef in the kitchen on Star Island, Miami. He says she was telling me how to do my job. I grabbed her wrist and I told her to stay in her lane. Oh, you tried to tell the chef what the security guards told you. All right. He says it was reported to corporate headquarters and Combs heard about it. Damn. So shit that's going on even around the crib and shit. So at least there's some structure there. Reported to corporate headquarters. And it called him into his room. James said Combs told him write her a note and buy her a gift, and warned him that he would be fired if it happens again. Yeah, all right. So he likes the chef. Said it was a woman, right? Might be taking it down, but the chef, your food. I don't know. Maybe you value that more than this guy that's turning on your TV. So I did not want to make a false report. James is now being re-questioned by the prosecution. All right, so they're back up. He is asked if Christy Slavic, if he ever witnessed violence between Combs and his personal chef. James said he did. In Alpine, New Jersey, he says Chef Jordan was not there and they were trying to find a replacement for the day. He says Combs told him to make a police report that Chef Jordan hit him first. He says he did not file it because he did not want to make a false report. James says, I went out and came back and told him I made a report. Okay. All right. So violence and slapping or hitting on people that's in his circle, not just Cassie, allegedly. Cassie's best friend could catch a hanger to the head and a concussion, allegedly. The chef replacement could catch a black eye. All right. Hold on. Got music that's playing in my ear on accident. But at this point, everybody believes that Diddy can be an aggressive, short-tempered person. So what are we doing here? All right. Damn, why did my chat just mess up? It can't be from the audio button I just hit. Hold on, where's my chat? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody coming in. But I know it's earlier shift for y'all. I know I'm here earlier than normal for some people, but what's up with my chat? Why is my chat not working? Where's my live chat? My chat is messed up. I can't read my damn chat. I'm going to hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. I'm going to refresh. It should take 5 seconds. I'm going to get right back to this. It looks like hold on. It looked like they took a break. All right, so this was the break in the day. Give me 1 second. Let me refresh so I could at least get my chat working. Hold on. All right. Why is my live chat messed up? What's up, y'all? I see y'all still. Something wrong with my live chat. All right. Let's get back to this, though. All right. They took a break around typical lunchtime that they've been taking. All right. Let's get back. Let's see what's going on. All right. Is this where Cassie's mother now takes the stand? Okay. Cassie's mother recalls meeting Combs for the first time. Okay. Regina Ventura is being questioned by Emily Johnston for the prosecution. Okay. She says she is retired with 2 children. Okay. And lives in Connecticut. She is shown a photo and confirms it is Sean Combs, saying that he dated my daughter. Come on, don't treat her that old. Like, do you understand that this is Sean Combs right here? Is that Sean Combs over there sitting in the courtroom too? She says she met him for the first time in 2006 when Diddy signed Cassie to his record label. She says they subsequently started dating, living first in New York and later moved to LA. Okay, Regina confirms she saw Cassie around 2 or 4 times a year, with her daughter always coming home for the holidays. Okay, that's typical. She lives across the country, so all right. Diddy threatened to release 2 explicit sex tapes of Cassie. The mother knows about this. Damn. Okay. So Regina has just been shown an exhibit of an email sent by Cassie on the 23rd of December 2011 telling her mother that Diddy was going to release 2 explicit sex tapes. So this sounds like Cassie just prepping her mother. Like, listen, mom, if a sex tape comes out and hits the news or hits the internet about me, I just want to let you know. Okay. Cassie said Diddy planned to release one on Christmas Day and a second one shortly. Damn, what was he allegedly blackmailing or trying to set her straight about? The fuck? The message also said Diddy had told Cassie he would have someone hurt her and Scott Mascudi, the real name of of Kid Cudi, physically. You told this to the mother? Or was this in the email? Cassie wrote, he made a point that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said he would be out of the country when it happened. When asked what she thought when she saw the email, Cassie's mother, I was physically sick. I did not understand it. The sex tape threw me. He was trying to hurt my daughter. The prosecution asked if Diddy demanded 20,000 because Cassie was having a relationship with Kid Cudi. Okay. Cassie's mother says, we took a home equity loan, and that was the only way we can get the money. She says Diddy was angry that Cassie was dating someone else after he had spent money on her. She says her bank account shows they sent the money to the Bad Boy Records account and says they took out the loan to pay it because Diddy demanded it. So Diddy is helping them with the crib, helping the mom and Cassie with, his mother's crib and whatnot. It sounds like allegedly, you know how this comes off. It comes off like I got so much going on with Cassie, and if I've done anything for your family, if I feel wronged by Cassie, I'm gonna threaten the people close to you too, because I've done things for them. Like here, me and Cassie, me and you's locked in. You know what I'm saying? You my lady. I slap you around. Allegedly, I did things with we got all this shit going on. But I also done set your mom's 20 grand for the crib. Allegedly, right? Some shit like that. And if you get out of pocket, your mom's gonna have to suffer too. I'm helping both y'all at times. So I mean, it's disgusting behavior to be including this old lady in your affairs and your situation with Cassie. It's disgusting shit. But you also look at it too. Sometimes when people break up, they break up with the families and they got issues with the families or you might feel like the family's in cahoots. You knew your daughter was cheating on me with this Kid Cudi mother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Diddy he's coming off and not just this trial, but even before that, as a very, very jealous person. So I could see the spiteful nature bleeding into Cassie's mother at times with certain incidents. I can see that. So some of this shit definitely. All right. Yeah, the Kid Cudi situation. She says her bank account. Okay. I was trying to hit him, but I wasn't successful. Oh, Cassie's mom's tried to pop on Diddy one time. Cassie's mom is now showing photos she took of her daughter in December 2011, showing her with visible injuries. No mother or father wants to see that. You hitting on my child? All right. Cassie's mom says she took them because she took the pictures because Cassie was rude. So when we asked that the other day, remember I was like, is this Cassie taking the pictures herself? So those pictures allegedly her mother took. Wow. So your mother is in the know of her daughter being abused, and she's taking pictures for her records as well. Okay. And I wanted to make sure we memorialized it. Don't memorialize it. Y'all all get the fuck away from this guy. But okay, let's continue. She says Cassie shaved her head in 2009 and kept it like that for 4 to 5 years. She probably thinks Diddy is the reason why. Okay, Cassie's mom goes on to describe arguing bitterly with Diddy outside Cassie's apartment in early 2012 after the holidays, when she says he took Cassie's phone. She says she tried to hit him, but she wasn't successful. She said Diddy then drove off in Cassie's Jaguar. Cassie's mom has now finished giving evidence, and there are no defense questions for her. She leaves the stand. So they didn't cross her. Interesting. I wonder why the defense didn't want to cross-examine. What do y'all think about that? Diddy's side decided not to cross-examine Cassie's mother. Do you feel like she knows so much, seen so much, heard about so much that all this could do is her? Let's just get her off that stand no matter what. There's nothing that you could come up, no contradictions, no nothing that you feel like you could put in front of her to help with the prosecution. Just questioned her on and put in front of the jury. There's nothing that you wanted to use. I feel like any witness can be crossed, right? Like, even if it's just one question, just get up there. One question. How you doing, Miss Ventura? I'm doing well. Yeah, sorry you had to be down here today. Try to lighten it a little bit, lighten the mood. But you are aware once again that your daughter was in a long-term relationship with Mr. Combs, correct? Yes. Do you believe that any physical altercations happened in the midst of their relationship? Yes, I do. Um, are you aware that there were times that Cassie, your daughter, cheated on my client or Sean Combs with Kid Cudi or with other men, or that at times she would also hit him as well? No further questions. Anything, anything. They left her alone. I wonder if that was a real good tactic for them that they came up with, or fear. All right. No cross-examination for Cassie's mother. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, Miss Ventura has now finished giving evidence, and there are no defense questions for her. She leaves the stand. Okay. The Punisher takes the stand. I believe this is a male escort. Yeah, male escort. They got his real name here. Now steps on the stand. The 51-year-old from Harlem, same place as Diddy, is wearing a suit. He explains that he is a male exotic dancer whose stage name is the Punisher, and says he performs strip teases in New York City for bachelorette parties. He explains he first got his nickname in his teens from playing basketball rather than stripping. So when some of y'all was in my chat the other day, y'all said, yo, ARP, chill out, stop snitching. Because I was talking about bachelorettes and bachelor parties. Look at the tie-in right there. I was like, yo, freak offs. What y'all think be happening at these bachelor parties and these bachelorette parties? And why some of these viral videos where niggas try to get married and the day of, while they're all up there, somebody breaks it off. Or, you know what I'm saying? You know how many marriages were killed because of the bachelor or the bachelorette party? We just call them bachelor or bachelorette parties. You guys just like the movie fucking what should we call it? Hangover. You know what I'm saying? They're freak offs. They're fucking freak offs. You know the episode with Martin, with Gina and all them, they had the Punisher show up and Martin and them was underneath the bed and niggas is hiding in the closet trying to catch Gina cheating. Freak offs, B. The fuck? Freak offs happen every day, B. Why you think Boosie is so defending of Diddy? He's like, man, next thing you know, we can't even fly a bitch out. That's a Diddy. I mean, that's what people like Boosie's protecting. Like, I don't want no charges for sex trafficking because I flew an Instagram model in. The fuck? Yo, I wish I could see. My chat is fucked up right now. I want to see if y'all disagree with me. I know I'm not tripping right now. I don't know what's happening with my chat today, people. I'm trying to fix my chat. What the hell is wrong with my chat? I gotta fix my chat. All right, let's go. Exotic dancer details first encounter with Cassie and Combs. Okay. Hayes, also known as the Punisher, says he was hired in autumn of 2012 to create a sexy exotic scene for the husband and the woman who said her name was Janet. He says he was asked to go to the Trump Tower in Central Park West in early hours of the morning. Hayes says he was told to bypass security when he arrived and go straight up to the suite, where he was greeted by Cassie. He says she was wearing a bathrobe, a wig, and nothing else. He explained she invited me into the hotel suite. I was expecting a crowd and asked her if she wanted me to change. She said her husband and her wanted to create a sexy scene of me and her applying baby oil on each other and create a sexy environment that her husband would come up on. Okay. So did he thought he was showing up for a bachelorette type of party? He said he was expecting a party, but it's just Cassie in a wig and a robe. And she's like, yo, just come in. It's just me and my husband. We want to create a scene with you. So he turned himself from a stripper to a sex worker at that point. No? Are they gonna tell me that he took her down in the midst of this? They got into their freak off regular shit? Because at that point, you turned yourself, like, let's think legally. You turned yourself into a sex worker on the low. You thought you were showing up for a bachelorette party or some shit to do a strip tease. Legally, how they gonna cross that? How's defense gonna cross that? I'm curious. We're gonna get there. Bypass security and go straight up to the suite. All right, it says wearing a bathrobe, and the name was Janet. So is that so much saying that when he got there is Cassie? He didn't know he's showing up for Diddy and Cassie. He got the name Janet. She's the one that opens the door. What the fuck is going on? Okay, Cassie, fuck it. Let's go. Is that a perk of the job? You might show up and just, hey, there's probably some fucked up shit you walk into as well, right? You might think that this right here is fucked up. We'll see. Try not to look at him. Oh, what? She's trying to hide Diddy. Cassie's trying to hide Diddy's who he is. All right, we're in the bathroom display. She invited me in the hotel, blah, blah. Try not to look at him. He says Cassie gave him a sack of money before telling him to change into his underwear. He says he counted the cash. It was 800. That's it. Y'all niggas moving around, putting y'all lives and all type of shit and freedom and all that at risk. 800? 800? This is Diddy and Cassie only gave you $800. I would expect them to, especially being scared that y'all might identify them and talk. I don't know. I didn't hear nothing about no NDA here, neither. If I'm Diddy and Cassie, I'm pulling this type of bullshit, man. NDA, and you got to get paid more than that. I even pay my Grubhub and DoorDash people and all that more because you kind of just want to establish like a little bit more trust. Niggas might still try to reach in and steal a fry or some shit, but you want to make people feel like it's being worth their, you know what I'm saying? I'd be having like a $30 meal sometimes for lunch, $40, $50 bill for lunch, but you still might get a $20 tip. It's definitely more than 10% at a restaurant. You try to buy the trust. Look, man, we in this together. Like, whether it's DoorDash or a freak off. How I just created a parallel of DoorDash and freak off. I'm a Matrix thinking weird guy sometimes. People stay with me. Y'all know how I pod. Reference king. All right. He says Cassie told him not to acknowledge her husband and to try not to look at him, and no communication. Yeah, they're hiding him. Wow. He says there were electronic candles. All the furniture was covered in sheets. There were bowls of water with baby oil in them. Hayes then describes going into the hotel room wearing just a towel and applying baby oil. He says Diddy then came into the room naked, but he says he could not see his face. This male worker, sex worker, or stripper, whatever, he's tripping. That's gotta be dangerous. No, that don't scare you, dude. I mean, God knows what else this guy has already done in his past, but and maybe he saw that 800, it was like, bet, let's go. Maybe he saw Cassie and said, bet, let's go. But I feel like a setup and like, the guy that's about to come in here, my husband, don't look at him. Don't acknowledge him. You can't talk. I get it. Y'all creating your own sexy ass freak scene or whatever, but this shit is weird. God knows what this guy does in his line of work on the regular anyway. So he's probably seen a bunch of weird shit in his time. This guy Punisher. Wow. Hayes then describes going into the hotel room wearing just a towel and applying baby oil. He says Diddy then came into the room naked, but he says he could not see his face. All right. He says he was carrying Astro. He's just walking in with the Astro Climb. The fuck? He was carrying Astroglide. My bad, y'all. Just to walk in with him. Yo, Diddy, man. Diddy, the whole world already knows how much of a freaky ass nigga you are. But you're a little goofy too. You're a goofy, freaky, weird, violent nigga, allegedly. It's a weird mix. A violent, freaky nigga is different. Oh shit! The fuck y'all got me reading? Oh, y'all know I did this is part of live reaction. You know I haven't read none of this yet. So, oh my god. Ah. I don't know why I'm shocked. I feel like we all know this about the man already, but when you read some of this shit, it's just, the fuck y'all got going on in that room? Oh, in all seriousness, though, the more and more freaky this trial makes him, it's possible that that's the more and more innocent you will make him. Because you got a lot of people just saying it's just a freaky ass nigga in his own personal life. Like what he wants to do in his own sex life with him and his girl, if she's down, is on them. That's on y'all. Oh man. And I still say, if he is found innocent, there will still be 1,000 people on his yacht party, women on his yacht party the very next week. They won't give a fuck. They just like, yo, it's a party, it's lit, it's up. Celebrities there, we there, girl. They won't give a fuck. We know that girl, the shop with my own Astroglide. Real shit. Oh man. Dude, I was trying to be professional. He says he was carrying Astroglide. How do you what is the classification of being professional in a situation like this? It's a freak off. What do you mean I was trying to be professional? I was trying to be professional. He was carrying Astroglide. He went to the chair in the opposite side of the room, and then he was masturbating. He goes on to describe Diddy giving Cassie directions. So that's why he was carrying the Astroglide for his damn self. Cassie's directions so he could get a better view. Cassie is just as freaky, y'all. Like she's doing this with Diddy. Like we are pleasuring each other by letting another man pleasure me. Well, it's our private life, but after around half of an hour, he says, Diddy left the room and Cassie followed him out before returning and asking him if he wanted to finish. He says, I was trying to be professional, so I declined. That's what being professional was, huh? He says Cassie gave him an additional $12,000. All right, because that $800 deposit was a little sketchy. I was about to say, dude, she handed you a bag of 800 and you ain't say, I'm in a Trump Tower right now. And Cassie just opened the door. And now you telling me, I'm looking like, where's the party at? And like, there's no party. It's just me and my husband. And you passed me 800? Like, that's it? 12,000 for somebody that's doing bachelorette parties and strip teases sounds much better. Okay? Especially if you want him to maintain some level of secrecy or at least loyalty or appreciation. Like they gave me a big ass bag, so I don't want to throw them under the bus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once again, I gave you a big tip. Don't touch my fries in my bag, dog. I gave you a big ass tip. Grubhub or DoorDash, whatever. Hayes says Cassie gave him an additional 12 grand as he left. He tells the court he now knows the man was Diddy, so he didn't know that time, and was contacted a second time to go to Essex House Hotel. Oh, at that point, he probably did. Okay. He says he thinks he went to meet Cassie and Combs around 8 to 12 times in total. I could see the reoccurring thing because you develop the trust with somebody. You know, the performance thing is out. How the freak off went is one thing. That's on y'all, whether y'all happy how it went or not, whether you enjoyed it or not. But I gotta assume in that world, what's also important, especially for a Diddy, is the trust. All right, we worked with this guy 2, 3 times. I ain't seen nothing end up in the tabloids. I ain't seen no pictures hit the internet or whatever. You build up the trust in each other, you know. So people like to be familiar with shit. You want to use the same drug dealer. You want to use the same weed man. You want to use the same sex slave, right? I could understand that if you're Diddy and Cassie, why this guy says like shit. I worked him about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times. I could understand that. He explains further along the line. I saw his face. He would wear a baseball cap, and I noticed his face. Ironically, I'm a fan and follow him on Instagram. Realizing like, oh shit, it's Diddy. It gotta be a crazy moment. It gotta be embarrassing for Diddy too. Like, how does Diddy imagine like you got this sex worker that done pulled up to the crib or to the hotel, and imagine crossing paths with him in the hotel room or whatever. You was over there jerking off while he was fucking Cassie, and you was possibly on FaceTime in the other room. We heard about all this shit already, right? These different ways they set this shit up. But imagine crossing paths and it's not dark enough, or the shadow don't hit the right way, and the hat lifts up, and you catch this full all-out eye contact with the sex worker. That's got to be embarrassing as shit because you know that you are a household name. You're like, this nigga just looked me dead in my fucking eyes and realized I'm the one that's over here in the corner jerking off with Astroglide while he's fucking my girl. That's got to be embarrassing. But freak, yeah, 69 guy. Hey, court breaks for lunch. The Punisher is back on the stand after lunch. They still going with him, huh? He wanted us to keep our bodies covered to shine. That's where the baby oil stuff is coming in. Okay. Male escort Sheree Hayes describes going along to different hotels in New York to meet Cassie and Diddy, often on Friday and Saturday nights. The dancer, who goes by the name Punisher, says the encounters would start at around 2:30 a.m. and sometimes last till 11 a.m. I don't need the details, but a lot of men are seeing this and hearing about some of these shit coming out of court and just like, is it straight through? Like, yeah, even women, there's a lot of women that complain. Like, there's a very sexual men out there, there's very sexual women out there, and 2 hours, cool. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of women, if they keeping it real, right? They got time windows that they like. All women is different, but some women might tell your ass, like, yo, come on, man. That last time was 90 minutes. Like, I started to actually start to hurt. Like, oh, what? Like, there's women that keep it G like that. The fuck are y'all doing from 2:30 to 11? 2:30 to 11. All right. Getting your money's worth? Your 12.8 worth? He describes a routine which would start with Cassie texting him. Yo, free costs can't be written off on your taxes, can they? Under entertain, so yeah, because y'all spend a lot of money. I'll leave it alone. It always started the same, to create a sexy scene, but I understand it could escalate to sexual activity, oral sex or penetrative sex. Always a similar pattern, but baby oil on each other and create a look, a sexy atmosphere, he explains. He says Diddy would at some point come into the room, sit in the distance, and give instruction to Miss Ventura. He says the routine was always the same and always featured candles and covered the furniture. Baby oil stains, right? Yeah, so it cover all that shit up. But now that the point where they're saying he's giving instruction, remember the first time he said when he got to the Trump Tower, there was no Cassie was like, you can't talk to him. So now he's comfortable to the point where, because everybody's going to recognize Diddy's voice if he's there giving instructions to Cassie, right? So they're at the level of comfort now where we all know what's going on. My hat lifted up. You know it's me. It's all good. I bet. This is our 7th time together. You know what it is. Oh, man. One time during sex, he says, Diddy asked Cassie, are you okay? Hayes describes the considerable amount of baby oil used during the performances, saying he wanted us to keep our bodies covered to shine. He says each encounter lasted about 4 hours, made up a lot of waiting time, and then 45 minutes of sexual activity. Okay, so that's the whole 2:30 to 11, a little bit mentioned there. He says when he was instructed to finish, he would finish. Diddy would then leave the room and Cassie would follow. After waiting for a while, Cassie would return and tell him he could leave. Hayes says he got paid between $1,200 and $2,000 each time. That first time was 12 stacks, though. That's a dip. Yeah. This first time was 12 grand. You're gonna start the guy off at 12 grand, and then now the other occasions is 12 to 2 grand. Now, one day he's up on the stand telling on y'all asses. Now, one day he's testifying against y'all ass. Gave you 12 grand. Well, 12.8 when he walked in, and 12 grand when he left, 800 when he came in, and 12,000 when he left. And now you give him 1,200 and 2 grand. And now Diddy's doing the instructions and shit. The fuck? Yeah, y'all chopped his price down, huh? Defense objects to male escort's fetish description. Objection. Stop talking that much detail about the baby oil. Asked about Cassie's enjoyment level, Hayes says, oh, that's important. If this is the defense asking it, but oh no, this is still prosecution. We were creating a sexy scene that was enjoyable for her partner. It was a fetish type thing. Oh, so he's kind of putting it on Diddy. The defense objects to this description. Yep, they should object to that. They should have a problem with that. Because now he's testifying. I don't even know if Cassie it was for her, she enjoyed it or not. It's really about Diddy's fetish. Okay, yeah, that's not good for Diddy. Hayes goes on. I did occasionally see her sigh or wince from the frequency of the direction. It was random. He says prior to sex, Cassie would chat to him about his business and how things were going, what he calls typical interaction. Okay, regular shit, regular talk. He said during sex, Cassie was definitely seeking cues and would look in the direction of combs. Why did he just get into the porn industry? There's nothing wrong with getting into the porn industry. Even Snoop Dogg got into the porn industry. Snoop Dogg did a couple full-length videos. They was called, was they the same name of his album? Doggy Style? I forget. Snoop Dogg got pornos, B. There's probably a couple other rappers that did them too. There's a couple rappers that got into the porn industry. They wasn't acting in them. They wasn't in the scenes or nothing like that. But they just saw the porn industry as a hustle. So, like, if I don't want to pull up the stats right now, but the amount of money that's spent in the porn industry per year is through the roof. People spend a lot of money in that world, from the toys to the videos and the subscriptions and all that type of shit. It's a huge industry. And you've seen some entrepreneurs, like, once again, people like Snoop Dogg that said, shit, let me go get some bread out of that. So Diddy, if you over here conducting these scenes and everything, maybe that could get you your fulfillment. You just go into the porn world. Direct scenes over there. And you could be off camera jerking off and you will never get in trouble for it. You'll never get in trouble for this shit. You could be in a corner directing and jerking off, and you hire these porn stars, not your girlfriend, not your wife. You know what I'm saying? And direct these scenes. Hire the people that look like Cassie. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, why Cassie, though, is my thing. He should have been doing this type. If you was that freak and this is really how you get off, do this shit behind Cassie's back. No? Like, why turn out your main? I just can't process that. But if you getting off by directing these sex scenes and these porn scenes or whatever, go into the porn world, dog. It's right there legally for you. The porn world is one of the biggest industries in the world. This entertainment industries in the world is right there. Go. You're Diddy. You can get in like this. All them fucking porn directors and producers or whatever, probably Diddy could get in touch with any of them in a split second. Go over there. Pull a Snoop Dogg. The fuck? Oh man. All right. When asked, he says Cassie never refused to perform with him. Sometimes I felt anxiety, so there were problems getting and obtaining an erection. He adds, okay, this is a mature stream, people. All right, so we're gonna read a couple words here and there that don't do the whole. There's no teenagers on here, hopefully. All right, I don't want to hear pause. I don't want to hear that. Grown men and women over here. All right, people. So I'm gonna read this shit as it is. Fuck y'all. He says he would take Cialis and Viagra to try to tackle his issue. Hayes says the last time he performed in March 2015, Diddy was assertive and aggressive, which left him and Cassie startled. He said he was unable to perform, and although he was paid, he wasn't called back again. So he tried to say he couldn't perform because Diddy scared him. Y'all look crazy, son. Yo, Diddy and Cassie mentioned in Exotic Dance's Erectile Dysfunction book. He wrote a book. Oh, he did name them in a book. So once again, no shock that he's up there on the stand. He wrote a book and named them. Diddy and Cassie didn't go after him for his book. No cease and desist. No sue. No. Word. Let's hold on. Oh, it's published this year. Okay, so it's published while he's already going through this shit. Oh, this is publicity for him. Wait a minute. He dropped his book this year while Diddy was already in jail and he's the top of the headlines news cycle. Then he drops his book. Then he comes on the stand and testifies. Cross, you better use that. Published in 2025 is titled In Search of Freezer Meat. The Cross better use that. A story of male mental issue crisis caused by erectile dysfunction and the only true cure no one is talking about, a penis implant. So you're going to get people that got ED copying your book, I guess, right? But imagine the amount of people just from the shade room TMZ type of side of things that just want to get to the chapter of you talking about you with Diddy and Cassie. This is a commercial. You up on this stand. This is one of the best trailers you could have. This is one of the best forms of promotion you could ever have for your fucking book. Testifying in the trial about a ED moment that you had with Cassie and Diddy. The defense better use that. Wow. I'm not saying that makes his shit not true, you know? But when you're the defense, you gotta pick apart and try to put motives in front of the jurors. Right? I just clearly see one there, and I'm not here fighting for Diddy. I'm just saying. Hayes says he mentions Diddy and Cassie in the book, describing them as a married couple. He says the situation was sensationalized, so it would be relatable, centered around highs and lows around ED. Punisher asked about professional dry humping. Yo, they got him on the stand longer than Cassie's. So the assistant did testify yesterday. They got him back here. They had him back here for day 7, the personal assistant, and then they got him out of here. Cassie's mom's up there for 10 minutes, got her out of there. Defense didn't even want to cross her. This Punisher male escort guy got the whole second half of the day. Oh my God, dry humping? Hayes now moves into cross-examination from the defense, questioned by Xavier Donaldson. No Brian Steele in any of these crosses am I seeing yet. Okay. Donaldson asks, freezer meat? Hayes answers, like you put meat in the freezer, which is met with huge laughter from the court. Hayes tells the jury he had been struggling with ED for a long time ahead of working with Diddy and Cassie. Okay. Donaldson asks him about his business, putting together groups of male strippers to perform at bachelorette parties, semi-nude or in underwear. He says, professional dry humping, 25 years. We are talking thousands of ladies. So that's part of the job description of a male stripper doing bachelorette parties or whatnot. Professional dry humper, they put. Dude is crazy. He's selling his book on the low, whether he knows it or not, whether it's intentional or not. He is asked if he developed feelings for Cassie and says he did not. He agrees he should have said yes. That would help him sell his book too. He should have been like a little bit. He agrees if he felt special because he was chosen to perform with Cassie and Diddy around 8 to 12 times. He said he felt special for that. I said earlier, I think, you build up a level of trust as well. So Combs was a director. You were the actors. Defense is now trying to establish Cassie's willingness during their interactions. Donaldson asked, which is always going to be a theme that they have to go after: consensual. When you were with Cassie, you did not get any cues that there was discomfort. Hayes replies, that is correct. He asks again, no cues about any discomfort. Hayes again answers, that is correct. All right. He is asked if he does prostitution, and he says he does not. Oh, what's the definitions around that though? You pulled up the first time at the Trump Tower, took an $800 deposit. You thought you was showing up for stripping, and then they started to direct you into a freak off. Of course, he's gonna say no because he don't want to get up there and catch no charges and put those labels on himself, right? But he is asked, once you started intercourse with Mr. Combs, would say do this and do that. Hayes agrees. Okay. Donaldson says, you didn't do anything she didn't want to do? Hayes says, it seemed like it was consensual as far as I was concerned. Well, he definitely can't say it was non-consensual, right? Because he's physically in the act. So that's another great angle that you could easily pull from the cross-examination by the defense here. The lawyer confirms, Combs was the director. You were the actors. He says that is so. Yeah, being the director and being the actor is not going to carry any different. Like if you're starting to establish sex trafficking or prostitution, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to say I'm in the clear because I was the actor, or I'm in the clear because I was director. It's Birdman voice, all three of y'all. Real shit, right? So great questions here by the defense. He says that is so, and also confirms he never saw drugs or filming during their interactions. During a brief redirection with prosecution, now they come back. Hayes describes one occasion when he believes Cassie was enjoying herself. Forster then clarifies that at other times, Cassie would wince and sigh, and her focus was on Mr. Combs, which Hayes agrees with. He says Cassie showed a consistent awareness to Mr. Combs' direction and his perception and his desires of the moment. The Punisher's questioning is now over. I think they both got stuff, right? If he's done there, we're gonna get into this next piece in a second. But now that they're done with this guy Hayes, one of the escorts that was allegedly involved in Diddy and Cassie's freak-offs from 8 to 12 times. And the pictures that's being painted is Diddy directing these sex scenes between him and Cassie. And we're not even hearing details of Diddy physically partaking in them, just sitting off in the fucking corner with his Astroglide and jerking off as he's watching Dude and Cassie. And they're taking directions from him. Okay. Now, on the prosecution side, man, from what we got out of this, his testimony, the sex trafficking thing, the prostitution thing, I guess you saw the question of you consider yourself a prostitute, right? I guess this adds to that side, right? This guy showing up at the Trump Towers and getting paid to fuck and to do this shit. But the defense clearly went after one of their biggest, most common narratives that they're going to continue to use: consenting adults doing what they do. Consenting adults. Even asking him questions like, does she look uncomfortable? You know, like, all right. All right. Diddy's 20,000 square foot waterside mansion. 20,000 is a lot. 20,000 is a big spot. I ain't gonna lie to you. We now meet our 10th witness, Special Agent Gerard Gannon. I think this is the person that's going to talk about stuff from the raid. All right, Gannon says there were 80 to 90 people involved in the search, and due to the size of Diddy's home, which was around 20,000 square feet. So you had 80 to 90 people ransacked this 20,000 square foot mansion. I wonder how long they spent in there, though. They're going to say that. Did they take 1 day, 2 days, a week? How long did they take in there, though? Because they probably trying to turn every little stone over. I mean, if you're raiding Diddy's crib with these type of charges, a RICO that you're bringing, you're probably even digging up holes in the backyard. Let's see if there's buried cash, buried bodies. Real talk. No bullshit. No bullshit. You got to spend a lot of time. If you bringing a RICO to him, that raid ain't just, oh, we're just here to find the baby oil. No. You got a RICO that you guys are all raiding for to constitute for this trial and these accusations and these charges. That house is and the yard, everything is tore the fuck up. He explains that instead of doing the raid early in the morning, as was usual, they waited until mid-afternoon as they knew the family were away on a trip. They used a vehicle to break open the front gate and gain entry. Okay. This is in Star Island, this one. Beautiful location, man. Star Island. 20,000 square foot property in there. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. This is why Diddy's gonna fight. Hair, tooth, and nail, man. You want to come home to that type of shit, that type of lifestyle. Don't nobody want to lose their life to their remaining years in prison. There's no way he was gonna take a plea. I did not believe that one bit early on. Sex toys, high heels, loaded guns. I'm just going to go straight to the list. Things that the agent is saying that they found. Sex toys, Astroglide lubricant, baby oil, condoms, loaded guns with their serial number scratched off. This right here is a federal issue, I believe, right? Magazines with bullets in them, boxes of high heel shoes. None of this shit is illegal. None of this shit is a problem except for this one, to me. Scratch cereals. Because if you had legal handguns, it's in the South, right? It's Star Island. It's Miami, right? Off Miami. So it's in the South. Even his security guards, even if he's not licensed, he could have the security guard justifications, right? 24/7 people around the crib with guns and whatnot and safes and whatnot. But the scratched cereals. And I asked that question early on. I'm like, you're Diddy. Why are you in possession of scratched cereals? You can get anything you want. Why are you putting yourself in possession of federal charges, even if the gun is dirty? What? Like, you're Diddy. You shouldn't have to have anything that's not fresh out the box, fresh off the shelf. Receipt and everything. This is why I bought it. Right? Guys, if y'all purchase legal guns, keep the receipts for life. Right? Keep the receipts for life. So even if somebody comes and says this serial number is traced to a fucking crime 3-4 states over, this gun was when was the date of that shooting or that crime? It was purchased on this date, in this state, in this store, boom, boom, boom. You got all your defenses around that type of shit. Why the fuck does Diddy have guns with cereal scratched? Why? Why? All right. Kid Cudi. All right, Kid Cudi to give evidence tomorrow. He's taking a stand tomorrow, which would be today. Kid Cudi's about to take the stand. Oh, shit. The jury has now been excused. The court is adjourned for the day. We are told the court will hear from new witnesses tomorrow, potentially including Scott Mascudi, which is Kid Cudi, who is known for Yep. Oh, shit. Should I go live later on? Or should we just wait until the morning again for a full detailed recap? Drop a comment below. Let me know which one y'all enjoy more. I know a lot of people want to maybe just write at the moment and it'll be more specific. But when I do the recaps, I collect the info, make sure we don't miss anything. And then we do a full from the whole day like this for y'all, straightforward. No, you know what I mean? No break in the moment and nothing like that. So y'all let me know what y'all like more. But Kid Cudi on the stand today, possibly. We shall see. We shall see. All right. What else do we got real quick as it pertains to the diddler? I did see
now Sean Diddy Combs isn't only fighting for his freedom, but also his money. Even with all his legal troubles, Forbes estimates his net worth is still around $400 million. But if he were to be convicted, all that could be in jeopardy. Why? Because the government could actually seize his assets. People might hear that and think, wait, does that really mean that all of his businesses, all the money he has, could conceivably have been used to finance this? Therefore, it's all fair game?
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, this is a very, very broadly phrased forfeiture allegation. It doesn't look like there was any sort of pre-indictment seizures that they're counting towards it. Normally you see things they've already gotten their hooks into. So it's basically just saying if it is an instrumentality or a proceed, we're going to go after it. And they've named the enterprise in a very broad way, the RICO. The RICO is essentially anything he touched in his business world, whether it's, record labels, liquor labels, planes, trains, and automobiles. Basically mean everything is in play. And the other thing is there's a concept called substitute assets. Just when you think you're crawling out of the wreckage and you're down to your last 400 million, you're told, oh, we're also going for substitute assets, which means even if we can't prove that this particular car, this diamond watch, this piece of art is not connected to criminality, it still relates to our overall reward, and we're going to use it as a substitute.
Now, Sean.
Shit. 400 million down to that now. Diddy did have billionaire status, right? So it's less than half of that now, down to 40%. 400 million is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. But here's another thing. I mean, if the government wins and they're able to seize all this stuff, as was just explained to us, you're gonna have a lot of those frivolous lawsuit people crying. They was expecting their payout, right? It's probably he's got 100+ civil lawsuits on him right now, right? So you guys are gonna have to get in line to the government. But not just that. The fact that this is a RICO, a lot of people are asking, why a RICO? And it's a one-person charge. Well, a lot of us learned there's a such thing as a one-person RICO. Okay. Now, we're hearing a lot of domestic violence stuff. RICO? Well, they haven't gotten there yet with all the interstate commerce and coercion and sex trafficking and all that type of stuff. I think they're still building up towards that. There's supposedly an 8-week trial, right? We are only at the beginning of week 2. So there's probably a lot to come yet still to prove the actual allegations and charges in the RICO. I think most of us have just been impatient. Like, what is this shit about his sex life? That there's no way. We're just being impatient. But when you talk about the RICO, what else it can do there? We just saw it. It could snatch the remainder of his assets, $400 million worth. Wow. So this is where 3 years from now, if he was found guilty and if they're able to seize all that stuff, 4 years from now, you look around, you see that the government is hosting some fucking auction. Diddy's diamond watch, $2,000 only and shit. Like, it's wild, man. It's fucking wild. I'm pretty sure at this point he don't give a fuck about none of that. He wants his freedom. But we just learned that's another thing that the RICO is doing. Okay, it's another thing the RICO is doing. Are there any other big highlights outside of our full recap read that we just did? Yeah, we know about Kid Cudi's possibly coming on today. We know about his mother testifying and the $20,000. We spoke about that. All right, the ecstasy pills thing. Somebody alleged that there was in the shape of Barack Obama. Whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Okay. Yeah, his former assistant continued to testify. Yeah, we pretty much got everything in our full recap, people. So we are fully up to speed with the Diddy trial, and now we keep an eye out for what Kid Cudi brings to the table. It's pretty much established, I think, already from week 1 that Cassie and Kid Cudi were dating supposedly during an off period or a downtime between Diddy and Cassie's relationship. So we'll see what happens. All right. If you join the stream during the Diddy stuff, we didn't start with Diddy. We started with some pretty significant Lil Durk updates. So make sure y'all rewind to that. Make sure you check that out. Kendrick had a little quick news update that I thought was dope from a hip hop standpoint. I touched on briefly the Daylight and the Joey Badass battle, and I did a reaction yesterday. If y'all caught that, I did that live yesterday afternoon. We played the music, but let's get into Rod Wave. Let's get into Rod Wave. Rod Wave he's a big artist, man. So we see stuff like this come across. We got to see what's going on with our artists, man. This podcast pretty much focuses in on hip hop, right? The hip hop side of the house. So let's see. Rod Wave was arrested for allegedly firing 14 shots into his girlfriend's G-Wagon, Barbie, into her G-Wagon. Rod Wave was arrested today on 13 charges, including aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, and more after his bond on a separate charge was revoked for an indictment that allegedly took place last month. Authorities say they acquired video evidence of him getting into an argument with his girlfriend and shooting her vehicle. No one was inside the vehicle. He was arrested on bond a few hours. He was arrested on bond a few hours after being arrested today. So he was out on bond and then rearrested. All right, now these details is bugged out. You know what that almost sounds like, to be honest? It almost sounds like they was having an argument. Maybe he bought that shit, and out of being pissed off, he shot it up like, shit, I bought this fucking truck. Not like he was trying to hurt somebody, because they said nobody was inside, luckily. So if nobody was inside, and let's say allegedly he knew it, allegedly he shot it up, but also allegedly he knew nobody was inside, maybe because he's outside of the truck with his girl, they was arguing, he pulls his strap and said, well, you know what, fuck, nigga, I bought this shit, boom, 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 and hits the truck. Maybe that's it. I don't think that that's a good way to take out your frustration on the argument. Allegedly, if that's the case here, that's almost what it sounds like, right? Thank God he ain't shoot at her, right? We're going on this right now, so I'm going to say allegedly. I don't want to overreach, but if he just shot up the truck with nobody in it, knowing that nobody was in it, and if he's the one that bought it, that's probably what he was doing. He's taking out his fucking frustration. I bought this shit. You ever see how these niggas, they be in the crib, they start breaking shit because they're like, I bought it, I paid for it, they break it. Like, as if that's supposed to be a way to get back at whoever they argue with. It's like, it's your shit that you breaking, though. It's your money that you just fucking wasted. Yeah, I don't want you driving this shit. I'm the one that paid for it. I don't know. I mean, that would be a jealous nigga. You know, that would be that type of guy. You know, if it's in your means, just take the truck back. You know what I'm saying? If it's in your means, just take the shit, take it back, or don't buy it in the first place. So I don't know. I don't want to over speculate. But here's his charges. Let's bring those up. Let's take a look at some of this shit. All right, so we got aggravated assault, possession of a firearm or knife during commission of or an attempt to commit certain felonies. So firing out in public and shooting up that truck and all that type of shit, it's gonna cross some crimes or some laws, right? You can't just pull out your gun and just shoot cars up. It doesn't work that way, even if you paid for it, right? You got to be at a shooting range or some shit like that to do it, right? There's literally cars at shooting ranges that you could shoot up. Pointing or aiming a gun or a pistol at another. Ooh, that's assault. If he pointed it at her, that's assault. Even brandishing a gun at somebody, I believe, is assault. If you walk up to somebody, you just lift up your shirt and show them your gun, that's assault. Reckless conduct, yeah, that's the obvious one for shooting up a car out in public. Criminal damage to property, second degree. So not just damage to property, but criminal damage to property. Willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, misdemeanor. Tampering with evidence, felony. Damn, they try to hide some shit. Damn. Possession of firearm or knife during commission or attempt to commit certain felonies. Simple assault, reckless conduct, criminal damage to property in the second degree, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, misdemeanor, again, tampering with evidence, again, felony, conspiracy to commit a felony. Isn't it bugged out how you could have what you think is just one action, just one situation? I pulled out my gun and I shot up this truck. I knew nobody was in it. I just wanted to shoot this fucking truck up because I was mad that the bitch was driving my shit and we arguing. And I felt like she's taking me for granted. She's taking my fat ass for all due respect. I'm just saying, I was trying to say like how some of these guys, I said the fat ass shit with all due respect, but I was just really in my thoughts because you got the guys that end up with a lot of women that wouldn't end up with them unless they had money. And I'm not saying that that's the case with Rod Wave. I don't know what his swag is. He could be pulling women left and right, whether he rich as celebrity or not. I don't know the man. I'm just saying a jealous man that might not have that woman, despite his success and money and all that type of shit, that could be a nigga that would be like, bitch, and shoot the truck up because you're not being kept. The woman isn't staying put because of you, staying put because of the things that you're providing and giving, right? So I'm gonna shoot that up. So that's why I said the fashion real quick. You know what I'm saying? I just want to give details. I'm not a hater. I don't want anybody to jump out the window when I said that. But I shoot the truck up thinking that that's what I'm on right now. Fuck it. And that one act, all these charges, it's wild, man. It's wild, man. It's scary. Staying out of trouble is it's scary, man. So fucking scary. All right, so that's what's going on with Rod Wave right now, man. I'm not gonna overreach. Like I said, that's the only speculation I have that would align with what we read. You know what I'm saying? If he knew nobody was in the truck and he still shot it up, maybe he's the one that bought the bitch because they said this is in the midst of an argument with his girl, and they also got one of the charges there as I think it was like assault to her or another, right? So if he or like pointing a gun at somebody, so we'll see. We'll continue to follow that because Rod Wave is definitely a big artist. Hopefully he didn't do anything that reckless, but they said that report that we read said that there's video footage. Video footage it always compounds things, people. You know, it's one thing to say, nah, that didn't happen, and we could just all reach around and speculate. But when the video comes out with ASAP Relly and Rocky getting into a tussle, it's like, oh wait, there's more to go on. But then there's also, you know, stuff and following around the corner, like there's more to go on. Or Cassie and Diddy's video comes out in a hotel, there's just more to go on now, you know? So if there's video footage of this and you see how they play for public perception, all of a sudden these videos just happen to come out. They just happen to come out. Some of these videos are found in people's discoveries. Co-defendants be having discoveries and they be like, look at this nigga telling, I got it in my discovery in the video and all that, and I'm putting it out that this nigga snitched on me. You know, other times I'll be feeling like, yo, the government plays so dirty. Like, how else did that footage come out? Right? Because they wanted us all to convict the person ahead of the trial and say, yeah, we saw the video. Him and his girl look in the video footage. He's there clearly arguing. Okay, we see that. Oh, shit. Yeah, he pulls it. That looks like a gun in his hand. He pull. Okay. Oh, he did point it at. Okay. Then he turns to the truck and just shoots the truck up. Okay. And then you see him wave to him like, get the fuck out. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, allegedly. You see a video like that, then it's just like, what do? You're just like, it happened. The actual accusation that the fucking government is coming with, we see it happened. So I don't know. All right. Those are the topics for today, man. I know we covered a lot. We over 2 hours at this point. But let me just get out of here with some pure hip hop, one of my favorite groups of all time. I'm dying to find the full version of this snippet. Once again, legendary goated group.
I'm living, I'm busy, go getting no rest of these niggas around in my city. These rappers afraid of me, hating me, looking like bird box. I'm infinity, you need a trinity, standing right next to me. I feel this energy, you feel the energy when I come back to the. You consider me one of the legends. This shit is that bone club shit. That's that new bone club shit. Bitch, I am him at the only epiphany, puffing no infinity. They call me a menace, I make you a grimace. I'm living, I'm busy, go getting no rest of these niggas around in my city. These rappers afraid of me, hating me, looking like bird box. I'm infinity, you need a trinity, standing right next to me. I feel this energy, you feel.
Jesus. Busy was always my favorite in the group. He's a lot of people's favorite in the group, right? He was always the nicest with his melodies, and he was always the fastest, right? So my second favorite was always Crazy. After you get past Busy and Crazy, I was just like, if they dope on the track, they dope on the track. Like Lazy and Flesh and Wish. They was always cool at times, but you know, the highlights to me was always Busy and Crazy. Busy drops a solo album, I was always grabbing it. Crazy dropped his Crazy's was a double disc, right? That green CD. So I'll do this off memory. 3. I know you don't get it. I know you weren't there. I know you could only go reference YouTube videos and shit. I could even think about Crazy's albums, double disc, green CD or something like that. I think I remember right. But anyway, 3. But those 2. Anybody else dropped a solo project? But then again, I'm lying. I probably would grab it or have grabbed it because overall, you know, the Bone Thugs is on it, right? Drop a comment. What's your favorite Bone Thugs album? Is it the double disc that got the shit with Pac on it? Is that also? Do they got Big on that album too? Is that the one with Body Rot? Body Rot has one of the fastest verses I've ever seen. I said this war shit ain't stopping until they play hitting niggas body rot, body rot, body rot. That one. I think that's the verse when Busy comes on. It's just like, yeah, I'll give you $10,000 if you could tell me 2 sentences in a row of what he said without slowing it down. You could do that challenge with people and shit. But yeah, shout out to Bone Thugs, man. I'm looking forward to whatever the fuck they was in the studio doing right there. Busy was snapping. All right, that concludes today's Sorry Shoot podcast 427. For anybody that's on now that's curious and join the stream later on, I happen to kick this one off at like 5 a.m. Eastern time. I don't have a set time in the mornings anymore. I don't. I got to wake up and I got to get to work. And then for the rest of YouTube that likes their clips, they will come after. And some of these streams every once in a while also will be members only. So shout out to the members. The streams that we do Saturday and Sundays will never be members only, but sometimes every once in a while during the week, some of them will be members only. Other than that, catch me early in the morning. We will be here breaking down the latest and greatest. All right. Let's keep an eye out for Kid Cudi on the stand today, y'all. We'll be back.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Shoot podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.